When you think about QR codes, you'll probably recognize them as the square, black and white, looks like a whole bunch of dots all configured together. We're all familiar with barcodes, and the interesting thing about barcodes is that they can only hold 20 numbers. So when you scan a barcode, you get a one-dimensional scan. That's why at the grocery store you'll see the little laser and you got to get the thing aligned over it just right. And that's why when you go through the self-checkout line, it doesn't do what you want, because you got to get the thing just aligned correctly to get it to scan that barcode. But that barcode only holds 20 numbers, and that's what creates a unique SKU or whatever around the store. But a QR code is two-dimensional, meaning it not only has information in one dimension, but also has height to it, which is why we have a square. And so that gives us over 7,000 characters of information, not only numbers, but letters also. And in addition to that, you can make QR codes that do all sorts of neat things, sending emails, sending text messages, navigating to a specific website, and even displaying your business card. QR codes were developed by a subsidiary of Toyota. The name of the company is Denso Wave, and they created QR codes in 1994 for the purpose of tracking vehicle parts as they move through the assembly line. And the interesting thing about Denso Wave is that they've chosen not to enforce their patent rights, and so for that reason, perhaps among others, but certainly for that reason, QR codes have enjoyed widespread use because there is no license for their use. I'd like to give you a quick example of how to use a QR code. Here's something that works really well in our environment. You can see I have an email from Michelle Blakeman. She's our senior technical recruiter. She has lots of contacts, needs to stay in touch with a lot of people, and so she's included a QR code as part of her signature block. And so you can see here's your QR code here. I'm taking my iPhone and I'm just going to scan her QR code. And you'll notice that it pulls up right on my phone and wants to go ahead and create a new contact or add an existing contact. I can choose create a new contact, and just like that, I've added Michelle to my address book on my iPhone. So makes for a great way to get information that normally you would have to exchange a business card and then you're dependent on that person to sit and put it into their address book. This way Michelle can have her QR code embedded in her signature line. Every time she sends someone an email, they have the ability just to scan it and to take her contact information. Really a great use, I think, of a QR code. Let's give you a few more examples of QR codes, ways to use these quick response codes in your business. So here's a QR code I made. You can tell this is a fairly simple one just based on the complexity of the dots and so on. This is a QR code that'll navigate to a website, and actually you can see there that when I click it, it's going to go out and take us right to our blog. So this is the iBailey Tech Consulting blog, and you can see it's pulled it up and formatted it for the iPhone. And so all I had to do there was just to scan the code, and immediately it took me to the site. No fumbling around trying to figure out is that an L or is that an I or anything like that when I'm looking at it. Scan the code, immediately takes me to the website. Great use of a QR code. Here's another one. This is the text style QR code, and so this one just will return some additional information. So think of putting this up on a big screen before a presentation happens. Maybe you're cycling through some information about the class or about the particular business that's coming in. I can take and scan this QR code, and you'll see that this one is just creating some textual information. So a way to give additional information to someone. So you can see here it just talks about thanks for attending, gives the presenter's name, what time the session is going to begin. And so this is all just embedded right here in my QR code, and I can scan it and get that additional information. I have one more, and this is kind of a neat one. For sending a text message. So think of a situation where you want the people to, maybe they're coming to the Lunch and Learn and you want them to sign in or to register that they're there. So here's a simple QR code that you can scan, and you'll see that it created a new text message. I'm sending it just to myself for the sake of this example, but it has a text message to me, and here's the information that I embedded into the QR code, so when I scan it, it'll automatically send that. So you could think of somebody who's responsible for handling the registration or whatever suddenly getting a nice text message from all of the phone numbers in the office or in the conference room of people who are coming, and being able to manage that. Now, we've done some things with text messaging with a third-party service. I mean, if you have a room of 1,000 people, you don't want all those text messages coming to someone's phone. And so we've developed some applications for use with a third-party text message service where they'll take your text message coming in and then process that and return back to you formatted results, voting, tabulation, things like that. Kind of a neat use of a QR code for a larger scale environment where you have a lot of people sending a text message. So 3 quick uses for QR codes. Try these out. They're really great. They're easy to do, and I think if you try them, you'll find that your conversion rate, you'll get customers to visit your ads, those type of things, giving more information, and plus they're just kind of fun to use. So give it a try. So we were talking the other day about some interesting uses, let's say, for QR codes. And I noticed one the other day. My family and I went to Taco Bell for dinner and had takeout and brought it home, and everybody was eating their tacos and so on. And I unwrapped my taco, and it was one of those newfangled tacos with a Doritos, it's kind of a Dorito shell or whatever. And there on my the little holder that my taco was sitting in was a QR code. And so, of course, I had to wash my hands because they were all greasy, and then take out my smartphone and scan it because I wanted to know where is this going, and I think it went out to a website or something like that. But that was sort of an interesting use of a QR code even on your taco. I did notice at that meal that the bag of chips, we had some Doritos or some corn chips, and the corn chips also had a QR code on the back. And so these things are just spreading like wildfire. Marketing people are finding all kinds of great uses to slap them on products and to get people to scan them and go to a website or take a survey or whatever. And so neat uses for QR codes. You could think of a couple bad uses for QR codes, places where you probably do not want people pulling out their smartphones. The bathroom. You've probably seen them in a bathroom. There are advertising campaigns using QR codes in bathrooms. I think that may not be a great idea, but marketing isn't my thing either, so who knows. And then I've also seen them on the sides of city buses, which is another sort of an interesting case where you don't really want people as they're driving by taking out their smartphone and scanning. But nevertheless, the fact that we're starting to notice odd, or let's say bad places for QR codes means that they're just being used widespread across just a huge variety of places. Really, the sky is sort of the limit. You hate to say that; it sounds very like a cliche, but so many different opportunities, things that you can do with it. We gave just a couple of examples today, and I think those are fairly real-world examples of things that you can do with QR codes. Give them a try and see what you think. And if you need help, give us a call. Get in touch with our business development people. We've had some experience generating them for large environments and also for collecting responses from people coming in who are scanning them and going to a particular website or sending a text or whatever. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video about smart QR codes, and get your smartphone out, get a scanner on there. You know, now that you've watched this video, you're going to start seeing these things even more and more. So get your smartphone, get a scanner on there, and have some fun with this. Thank you.